My goodness, what a tremendous regular season win by the Bucks over the Sixers, punctuated perfectly by Giannis Antetokounmpo's emphatic clutch block of Joel Embiid to save the game. Wow. A lot of statements from the ball game, including the fact that, in my opinion, the Bucks remain the best bet to win the Eastern Conference. They're now the 2 seed in the ever-changing top 4, where a game and a half separate 4 teams. The Bucks, of course, have that championship DNA. They can beat you in so many ways, and Giannis is Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo is sensational at everything. 40 points, 14 rebounds, that block. The knowledge that he can carry the team to a championship. He proved it last year. He's special, and everyone plays so well around him. On the flip side, the loss last night brought up some familiar age-old questions about Doc Rivers. Like this one. Can Doc Rivers coach his way out of a paper bag? Spoiler alert, he cannot. Rivers' postseason nuggets of futility are dreadful. Do you realize that Doc Rivers hasn't made the conference finals since 2012, despite being in the playoffs every season since but one of them? I mean, it's crazy. Doc has also lost 9 Game 7s, 4 more than any other coach in NBA history. Last night, he inexplicably sat Joel Embiid and a hot James Harden at the same time. Embiid was rightly furious postgame. Paul Millsap cannot be getting significant court time against Giannis Antetokounmpo when Paul Millsap has the mobility of a street lamp, and Giannis was unstoppable. Philly had the lead, but this is nothing new for Doc. It's the 76ers' 21st game. Think about this. During the Rivers era, where Philly has blown a 10-point lead. Insane. And Harden showed up huge, finally in a big spot. And they still blew it. You credit the Bucks, you blame Rivers. The Bucks last year punched some narratives in the face last postseason. I loved the Sixers trade, as you know. I love the Sixers roster. But James Harden and Doc Rivers have historical issues of failure when it matters the most. In the loaded East, those are legit reasons not to trust Philly and to favor the Bucks. The Lakers lost, and Russ had no answers whatsoever for Brad Turner's excellent questions. The LA Times reporter is fantastic. Russ, and I love Russ, well, this year, he's nuts. And frankly, nobody is. Blame Russ, blame LeBron, blame AD, blame Rob Pelinka, blame Frank Vogel, blame Jeannie Buss, blame everyone. The Lakers are the biggest underachiever in NBA history. Now, we've done that topic before, but today, as we speak, they currently aren't even in the play. Think about that. The Lakers should be destroyed for their inept play and sheer indifference. If they were a 7th seed, they should be destroyed for that. Lakers should be crushed for their awful defense and excuse-making as a 9 seed. If the playoffs started today, they're out of the play-in. I mean, they're out of the play-in. Look at this. The Mavericks humiliated them on national TV. LA gave up 83 points in the first half. They have not held an opponent under 100 points since February 2nd. Heck, they almost gave up 100 in the first half last night. This is now their 6th losing streak of at least 3 games since January the 9th. Wow. The Lakers stink, like really smell. AD reportedly is going to be back this weekend, whatever. LeBron didn't play last night with the ankle, whatever. He hasn't been locked in all year, openly ripping the GM, daydreaming about Cleveland. The Spurs and Pelicans are ahead of the Lakers. Spurs and Pelicans. Those teams are terrible. The Lakers' remaining schedule is a doozy. Think about this, how they finished the season. At Utah, the Pelicans, Denver, at Phoenix, at Golden State, OKC, and then in Denver. Look, I'm officially rooting against the Lakers. Every time you think it's rock bottom, it goes even lower. They don't want to compete. They don't have answers. And honestly, I don't want to watch them anymore. Times like this, I think about the kids. There are preschoolers in Boston right now who have never seen the New England Patriots win a playoff game. It truly breaks my heart. It makes me sad. It's been 3 long years for Bob Kraft with no playoff wins. One season, of course, with Tom Brady. That ended on that pick 6, ending his career in New England. One season of missing the playoffs, and, oh, by the way, I don't think the Bills have stopped scoring yet from the wild card round last year. By the way, spoiler alert, Bob Kraft, it's going to get worse. Bill Belichick, of course, is the greatest coach in NFL history, but if you don't have a star quarterback, or, I don't know, have the greatest quarterback of all time like he did when the Patriots had the greatest dynasty in sports history, you're cooked. You're fried. There's a cap on how good you could be. The Patriots offseason has been, in a word, sleepy. Meanwhile, the Miami Dolphins have run past them. Buffalo's best team in the league. All 4 teams of the AFC West are better than the Patriots. All 4 teams of the AFC North are better than the Patriots. The Colts are better. The Titans are better. I mean, and think about those teams. Where are you going to fight me on that? You're going to fight me on Pittsburgh? So instead of having number 12, you want to fight me that, hey, we're number 12 in the historically stacked AFC. The Patriots are better than the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Texans. That's all I'm going to give you right now. Those poor preschoolers in Boston. We have a whiteboard. We're going to use it. Starting in the NBA, where my guy Kevin Durant carried the Nets to a huge win. They needed it badly over the Pistons last night. So KD's performance was spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. In fact, if you want to add a word, you could even say, thank you, Seinfeld. It was real and spectacular. Because if you watched that game, and I did, Cade Cunningham in Detroit had it going on. And the Brooklyn Nets could not lose this game at home on the heels of what transpired against Charlotte the other night. KD, he put on an absolute clinic, a show, especially in the final 5 minutes. He was superb, unstoppable, vintage. I mean, a force down low, the rise and fire jump shot, the 3-pointers, hit all his free throws, 41 points. Are you kidding me? Look, no one's going to want to face the Nets come playoff time. And it is interesting, Evan Mobley is going to miss for the Cavs at least the next 3 games. So he's got the injury. We'll see how that impacts Brooklyn and the place in the standings, the place for the play-in. But Kevin Durant, with all due respect to Giannis, the most unstoppable force in the NBA is Kevin Durant, who is real and spectacular. Staying in the NBA, where Paul George scored 34 points for the Clippers in his first game action since December. So, George's return was blank for the Clippers. I'll tell you what that was. It was inspiring. Kind of like my handwriting. You have to be inspired if you're the fan of the LA Clippers. Look, I told you last night, I was 5-2 on Adam Schein Picks Everything. I thought it was in the bank. Like the literal bank when Utah was up 20 early. Thanks, Jazz. Sour note if you're a Jazz fan or if you had it for Adam Schein Picks Everything. But Paul George, I mean, you want to talk about sweet, sweet music. It's about as inspiring as it gets. Look at the plus minus. 34 points, just incredible. And this feels like everything for LA in terms of being a team you don't want to face if you're a higher seed come playoff time. Ty Lue has done a superb, spectacular job as per usual with that team. That was inspiring. To the NFL, where Packers head coach Matty LaFleur admitted yesterday that Green Bay needs to get some speed at the receiver position. Yeah, no kidding, Matt. No kidding. So the Packers wide receiver group is... it's void. We're prohibited. Because when I say void, I mean there's nobody you want. See, we always talk about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers as a Super Bowl contender because we should. Because it's Aaron Rodgers, and it's Matt LaFleur, and it's Aaron Jones, and it's A.J. Dillon, and a strong defense. Did I mention Rodgers? I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is the current depth chart. I mean, Who the hell is Rico Gafford? You have 4 guys on this list in their career don't have 10 or more catches. In their career. Randall Cobb is there solely because he's Rodgers' bestie, and Allen Lazard is Allen Lazard. I mean, and look, Rodgers has this great ability, most talented quarterback in the history of the NFL, back-to-back league MVP, 4 in his career. Rodgers is special, makes everyone better. Rodgers is there, we're talking about the Super Bowl. But got to fill the void. And when I say fill the void, I'm talking about no Devontae Adams. That's as awful as it gets. You need players in the draft. You need veterans. I mean, you need to find a way to get DK Metcalf. Call the Texans about Brandon Cooks. Find someone, Brian Gutekunst, who we're not even thinking of, a veteran on a team who might be available, because that receiving core is void, null and void. There's nothing going on with the Green Bay Packers receivers, and if you have Aaron Rodgers, that's a problem. New Bears head coach Matt Eberflus says he expects quarterback Justin Fields to take a big jump in year 2. So, Fields will be blank this season. It's going to be better. I'm not ready to declare this a Fields of Dreams coming up for Chicago this upcoming season, but think about it. The Bears offseason has been a shoulder shrug, right? If you're going to use an emoji to describe Chicago, it's all right. You know, I like Matt Eberflus, like the offensive coordinator. You know, they've been okay in free agency. I remain a huge fan of Justin Fields. This year is all about breaking it down to build it back up. And look, at the end of the day, they're going to have to, and Eberflus is a fantastic defensive mind. Ask Darius Leonard what he brings to the table in terms of intensity and practice, running the Colts defense. I'm a big fan of Justin Fields. I like Mooney. You know, Robinson's no longer there. Mack is obviously no longer there on defense. It's going to be a long season in terms of wins and losses, but I love Fields' his attitude, intelligence, athleticism, arm strength, accuracy, and it's his team. You don't have to worry about Andy Dalton and the QB1 nonsense. Matt Nagy is long gone, and that's a good thing. So I expect Justin Fields to be significantly better.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.